What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there killing it on the tables. Today we're going to take a look at these two losing sessions. We are in the midst of a $2,000 downswing, but once again it looks like we have a lot of green hands, which means that we won, and they are some of the biggest hands in our session. Let's jump into the big hands from these two sessions and see what happened and how we can improve our game. First hand we're looking at is Ace King offsuit, playing in the cutoff at the 200 NL table. Onto the gun +1, opens for 6x $12. That's a big raise, but this guy Salasso has the tendency to put in some big bets pre-flop, but plays a very tight range, only having 7% for a pre-flop raise. I make a healthy 3-bet, $42 to go. Hopefully just picking up this pot right now, but committing ourselves and showing our opponent that we are willing to get all our chips in right here, which they get in, and we of course are not going to be folding here. Make a call, and it is a coin flip, which we wind up hitting top two, but our opponent has a set on the flop, and we wind up losing this one. When you're going to have a big downswing like this, you're going to be coolered a lot. You're going to be missing a lot of coin flips. It just happens in poker once in a while, and you got to fight through it. Not much we could do about that one. And now we're at the 100 NL table. We have pocket nines out of the gun, open to $3. We get a call from under the gun +2. And we get a 3-bet from middle position, or the hijack seat in this case. Small blind calls, and we're kind of in a tough spot right here. We are getting some really great implied odds here with the nines. This is one of those call to crack type situations where this is probably going to be a strong hand over here that's putting in a 3-bet like this. But we do have the opportunity to get in some very big pots with some recreational players as well. So I just call. Under the gun +2 also calls, and we see a 4-way flop with $33 already in the pot. And that could not be a better flop for us. We have top set, small blind checks. We also check, trying to get a continuation bet from the pre-flop 3-better, which is what happens, but it is a small bet, only 10.45. Small blind calls. We elect to just call in this spot. We are building a huge pot already, and it should not be very hard for us to get the rest of our chip stack in. And what is that? That is quads. Quad nines. There is a possibility we could get drawn out on by a straight flush, but the pre-flop raiser isn't going to be playing a 10-8 suited or a 6-8 suited, maybe a 10-jack, but not really hands we need to be afraid of. Let's try to get our chips in. Small blind checks. We check again, which I think is a mistake. I think we should have bet here on the turn. The river is the 3 of spades, pretty much a brick. Small blind leads out for half pot. We put in a bet, getting the rest of the small blind's chips in there. Maybe we can get a call from kings or aces that could be playing over here, but they are most likely going to be getting rid of their hand. I could see maybe an ace king playing the way that they did over there. Not exactly sure what was going on with the pre-flop 3-bets, and we do get a call from the 8s in the small blind, and we take down this pot of $180 with the quad nines. And now we have pocket 10s at the 200 NL table, playing from the big blind. We are shorthanded, only 6 of us being dealt into this pot. Folds around to the button, who opens to 2.5x. Probably a recreational player. Only 4 hands on this player. Very aggressive though over that 4 hands. I put in a 3-bet, make it $18 to go, and our opponent then makes it $57 for betting us. And against a very aggressive recreational player, I'm okay with getting 10s in pre-flop, which is what I do. And we get a call. It is queens against 10s. Not a great spot for us. An 18% underdog going into the flop. We are now an 8% underdog, but boom, there's a 10 on the turn. We still have to avoid a queen or a spade going into the river, which we do, and we take down this pot of 272. We got lucky there, but this happens in poker. Just as often, we will be on the other side. And now we have pocket aces at the 200 NL table. Folds around to us. We open to 3x, and we get a call from the small blind, who is a recreational player. And we see a heads up flop, $14 in the pot. Flop is 10 high, 2-tone. 2 spades out there. We have the backdoor nut flush draw with the spades, as well as the aces over the board. Small blind checks, and we continuation bet 825. And our opponent check raises us. Interesting play. We have blockers to the flush draw with the ace, and this is a very draw heavy board. I could see our opponent doing this with a lot of those type of draws, so I do make a call. The deuce does not connect with many hands. It actually did with our opponents. Didn't think we were going to wind up seeing a 2-4, but they jammed their entire stack in, and at this point we are committed, so I do make the call, and it is a flush draw, and we wind up taking down this pot of almost $290. How do we wind up losing in these sessions when we're winning all of these big pots? Maybe this hand has something to do with it. We're at the 200 NL, and we have ace king in the cutoff. Fold around to us, and we open a 3x, pretty standard, and we get 3-bet by the button. Very high 3-bet percentage, especially on the button where it is 19%. Small blind calls, big blind gets out of the way, and now we have the option to either just call, see a flop with the ace king, or to put in a 4-bet, try to pick this pot up right now, which I think is a better play, especially against a player who is 3-betting so wide on the button. I make it 65 to go, a little bit more than 4x, 4.33x the 3-bet. We get rid of the button, but the small blind jams all in, and now we're in a tough spot. I could see pocket aces, pocket kings possibly playing it the same way, but this is going to be a big time fold if we get rid of it right now. We are getting better than 2-1 on our money, and even if we are up against kings, that is really not bad for us. Aces were dominated, but kings were not. I do make the call. It's jacks. It's a coin flip. That's not terrible. We have top pair, top kicker on the flop, but they have an outside straight draw. They hit a jack on the turn, giving us the straight, but them trips now. We just have to avoid the board pairing, which is exactly what happens on the river, and we wind up losing a very large pot right there. Like I said earlier, we're going to lose a lot of coin flips and a lot of these type of hands when you're in a downswing. It's just the way it goes. We are still at the 200 NL table. We have pocket sixes this time, and we open from under the gun to $4, 2x, just a min raise. We get a call from middle position, we get a call from the button, and we see a 3-way flop, which is king high, 2-tone, 2 diamonds out there. We have bottom set. Check the king high flop, middle position, bets 2/3 pot, and we elect to just call, not giving away the value of our hand against a strong player. Jack comes on the turn, we check once again, and our opponent bets $22. This time we put in a raise, make it 76, and our opponent jams all in. We are pot committed, and we have a very strong hand that we should not be folding. The only hands we really lose to is another set, possibly a queen 10 suited that got there on the turn. So we do make the call, and we are in a big pot, $421. We have to avoid a diamond on the river or a queen. It's an 8, giving us this pot. That helps dampen the big time downswing. Thanks for watching, poker players. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed yet, so you don't miss out on any of the future poker action. There are daily videos coming out. If you are subscribed, make sure you turn your notifications on, so again, you don't miss out on any of the videos. Head down to the video description for links to all the poker products that I use. You can get a 30-day free trial of Hold'em Manager as well as Poker Tracker, which will greatly improve your poker game. Try them out. You will not be disappointed. Click that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if you got some useful information, if you're improving your game. Leave those comments or questions down below, and I will be back soon with a new video. But until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.